Right now, somewhere in America, someone just checked their retirement account, did the math, and felt their stomach drop. The number they saw wasn't even close to $1 million. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, only 3.2% of American retirees have $1 million or more saved in their retirement accounts. Out of every 100 people who retire in this country, roughly 3 of them cross the $1 million line. The other 97 don't. So if you've ever felt behind, if you've ever looked at those retirement calculators online and thought, "There's no way I'm going to make it," you're not broken. You're just part of a system that was never designed to make this easy. Let's talk about what's really going on. The financial industry loves to throw around $1 million like it's the minimum requirement to retire. Billboards, commercials, articles everywhere telling you that you need at least $1,500,000 to live comfortably. But the median retirement savings for American households between 65 and 74 is about $200,000. And for people 75 and older, it drops to $130,000. That's the middle. Half of retirees in those age groups have less than that. Now, here's where the gap gets really painful. The average retirement savings for that same 65 to 74 age group is around $609,000. But averages are deceptive. A handful of people with $3 million or $5 million pull that number way up, while the typical person sits far below it. That's why the median tells you the real story. And the real story is this. Most Americans are retiring with a fraction of what the experts say they need. So why is $1 million so hard to reach? It starts with income. High-income households save an average of $769,000 for retirement. Middle-income households? Just $79,500. That's not even in the same universe. And when you're earning a median household income, there's not a lot of room left after rent, groceries, insurance, car payments, and everything else that eats your paycheck before you can even think about investing. Then there's the paycheck-to-paycheck problem. According to a PNC financial wellness study, 67% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now. And among those people, roughly 3 out of 4 say they're struggling to save for retirement at all. You can't build $1 million nest egg when every dollar is already spoken for by the end of the month. Education plays a huge role too. A typical college graduate has about $141,700 saved for retirement, and someone with only a high school diploma has about $44,000. That's 3 times less. Not because they're less smart or less disciplined, but because higher education often leads to higher-paying jobs with better benefits, including employer-matched 401k plans. And that match is free money most people never get access to. Here's another factor nobody talks about enough: homeownership. Homeowners have an average of $303,000 in retirement savings, more than 2.5 times what renters have. Owning property builds equity over decades. Renters pay someone else's mortgage and get no long-term asset in return. That gap compounds over 20, 30, 40 years, and by the time retirement hits, the difference is massive. And then there's the expense that silently devours retirement savings faster than almost anything else: healthcare. According to Fidelity's 2025 retiree healthcare cost estimate, a 65-year-old retiring today can expect to spend an average of $172,500 on healthcare and medical expenses throughout retirement. For a couple, you're looking at close to $345,000 just to stay healthy. Medicare doesn't cover everything. Long-term care isn't included. Prescription drug costs keep climbing. So even if someone manages to save $500,000 or $600,000 by retirement, a massive chunk of that money is already earmarked for doctors, hospitals, and pharmacy bills. The savings you think you have shrink fast when healthcare takes its cut first. This is why the fear is so real. An Allianz survey found that nearly 2 out of 3 Americans are more afraid of running out of money in retirement than they are of dying. Think about that for a second. The fear of going broke in old age is more terrifying to most people than death itself. And among Gen Xers, that number jumps to 70%. These are people in their mid-40s to late 50s, staring at retirement on the horizon and realizing the math doesn't add up. Goldman Sachs reported that 58% of Americans believe they will outlive their savings entirely. That's not pessimism. For most people, based on the actual data, it's a reasonable prediction. Now, I don't say all this to make you feel hopeless. I say it because understanding the real numbers is the first step to beating them. Let me show you the other side. Fidelity Investments reported that the number of 401k millionaires hit a record of 654,000 in 2025. And here's the key detail. The average time it took those people to reach $1 million was about 27 years. They didn't get lucky. They didn't inherit wealth. Most of them just started early and stayed consistent. That's it. 27 years of putting money in, letting compound interest do its work, and not touching it. And 4% of those 401k millionaires are now millennials. That means people in their late 30s and early 40s are hitting 7 figures in their retirement accounts. Not because they had 6-figure salaries from day one, but because they made saving a habit before it became an emergency. So what does $1 million actually give you in retirement? Using the 4% rule, which many financial planners reference, $1 million generates about $40,000 a year, or $3,333 a month. Pair that with the average Social Security benefit of around $1,976 a month, and you're looking at roughly $5,300 a month in total income. That's livable, but it's not luxury. And in high-cost areas, it can feel tight. Once you subtract the average retiree's monthly healthcare costs on top of housing, food, and transportation, that $5,300 gets thin very quickly. That's the reality nobody puts on the motivational posters. That's exactly why the financial game isn't just about hitting a magic number. It's about building a system. A system where your money works even when you're not working. A system where you reduce debt, increase your savings rate even by 1% a year, and make your dollars stretch further through smart investing and tax optimization. Here's what you can do starting now, no matter where you are. If your employer offers a 401k match, take every penny of it. That is a guaranteed 100% return on your money. Nothing else in finance gives you that. Every time you get a raise, increase your contribution before your lifestyle absorbs the extra income. If you're self-employed, open a SEP IRA or solo 401k, because those accounts let you shelter significantly more money than a standard IRA. And if you're starting from zero, don't let the size of the gap paralyze you. Someone who saves $500 a month starting at age 30, earning an average 7% annual return, can reach over $1 million by age 65. The point isn't that $1 million is impossible. The point is that almost nobody stumbles into it. It takes a plan. It takes time. It takes the kind of financial clarity that most people never develop, because nobody sat them down and explained how the game actually works. If this changed the way you think about retirement, even a little, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.